Prepare to have your mind blown out of the back of your pants. From Studio City, California, you're listening to The Second Column with Joe, Mike, Carlos, and Sean.
Hello and welcome to the Second Column podcast. I'm joined here today with Mike Costantini.
How's everybody doing tonight? that intro.
Wow.
Hear you.
That intro gets better every week we do this.
Last week you forgot to say hello. Remember, you missed.
No, I did, but my voice cracked or whatever. Oh no, that was the week before. But I like how I say that like as if I'm asking for an answer. You know,
Right.
like how's everybody doing? But no one can really answer me because
I can
everyone
tell you,
listens.
just from the look in Mike's eyes, he didn't care what the answer to that question was. You guys probably can't see that.
It's true, Joe, because I'm dead inside.
Exactly.
Right.
So we're joined by Sean Kearney.
How was your afternoon today, people?
You didn't care. You don't care what I was going to say in response to that. You're waiting me off right now. And we have our first guest in the history of the show. We've got Dan Donatelli, my brother Dan Donatelli.
Hello, world.
Now tonight you might be noticing that Carlos is not with us. He is in Hawaii.
Yes, Carlos
He has
is on
a-
a work trip to Hawaii.
He had a work trip to. He has a lay-on in a Polynesian shirt, a Hawaiian shirt, and he's going to study hotels.
Yep. So he can tell people which hotels to go to as part of his job. So, which is not a bad gig. So we still love Carlos. He'll be back.
He was very upset about missing this podcast, though.
Yeah. And he was real broken up. He didn't even offer to call in or anything. I don't even think he said goodbye before he left the country. You know.
You left the country going to
The
Hawaii.
States before he left the
Right.
States.
I was offered a free
Hey.
trip to Hawaii, and I came here instead.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, that's why Dan's
That's
the new
dedication.
Carlos. Dan's the new Carlos. So, and there's some of us who don't recognize Hawaii as a state, and that's a whole political discussion we don't have to get into right now.
Do you recognize Alaska as a state?
I recognize the king of Polynesia as the proper ruler of Hawaii, but that's just me. That's the way I roll.
I
Is
learned
this
something
really-
new about you each day.
Is this really you just covering for the fact that you said Hawaii was outside the United States?
I don't want to talk about it.
I have a feeling it has something to do with pride at this moment.
I could spend the next half an hour justifying how I don't think Hawaii is.
I would still think you were bullshitting.
Number two, it's not attached. Duh. Did you ever notice that? Aren't they supposed to be attached? Okay. And also, when do any of our states have leper areas?
This is all you just making a justification. If you would have pronounced a word incorrectly, you would be reading from a dictionary right now.
Did you know Hawaii is the only state with one senator?
Wait, Hawaii has leopards? Or not no, lepers. Sorry, not leopards. Lepers.
Yeah.
They they don't have leopards.
I think. I can't.
Lepers.
I can't verify that because they're not in the American Almanac that I buy, so I don't know. But I can tell you that there's a leper island where they stick all
In
the
Hawaii.
lepers. Yeah.
They don't publicize that island much, do they?
Well, no, I'm surprised the tourism board isn't all over that. I'm surprised there isn't an ad campaign.
Well, I mean, you should publicize it. You know, it's part of the heritage. I mean, you know, you publicize Pearl Harbor. You might as well publicize like that you have a leper island.
Well, you go to visit Pearl Harbor because there's no danger of the Japanese attacking again.
Here. Yeah. Are you tired of sleeping on your arm at night? Yeah, I wish I didn't have that arm. Come to Hawaii. Tired of walking straight? Want to walk in a circle? Want to lose a leg? Come to Hawaii.
Well, you know, I'm just saying it's a piece.
No,
of their
I'm trying to
history.
put together ad campaigns for your Come to Hawaii leper program.
San Francisco, they don't destroy Alcatraz, right?
Does the leper colony have a hotel?
That's a good question. Does it have a 5-star hotel?
Seriously, Alcatraz is like, it's not a very tourist-friendly place. I mean, a lot of horrific things happen there, but still they opened it up to the tourists, right?
When those horrific things were still happening, I don't think any of the tourists were coming to Alcatraz. when the lepers all die off, I'm sure we'll be allowed to go back onto that colony and look at all the arts and crafts they made with their free time.
Oh man. Oh, dude, we're gonna get letters from lepers now.
If they press down too hard on the paper, their hands fall.
I'm gonna get an envelope with a finger in it.
Yep.
By accident. Thanks a lot. So, well, yeah, as you can see, we don't have Carlos here. Things have really picked up this week. It's actually, that's the best opening banter we've ever had for one of our podcasts, I think. Well, so let's get this out of the top of the show. Also, Dan Donatelli is a writer, and you can check out his writing at Dan. Tell him your website.
Gonefiction.com.
Gonefiction.com, and he also puts out an annual. What would you call Green Jeans?
I think I described it as a comedic one-man psychological holocaust.
Just in time for Christmas.
Yeah, it's an annual Christmas.
It's an annual Christmas gift
for my friends
that Danny gives to his friends, and it's the gift they can enjoy all year long and scare people with. And no, it's actually quite funny. So definitely
I revel it. I love it.
No, it's excellent. It's good. You can read it all year long. It's reminiscent of a little publication called Army Man that came out back in the day, written by some great Simpsons writers.
Wow.
And Danny keeps that tradition alive with his own,
attempt.
Yeah, attempt. It's very good. It's very good. Tell us one Green Jeans joke. What's a classic Green Jeans joke?
Oh man. I had a fake rap album where I answered all the questions that rap albums should answer. Like, is pimping hard? Am I hard? Do I roll deep? How deep do I roll? Are other MCs suckers? all your favorite rap questions.
So they're all answered.
Yeah.
What?
Yep. In one album.
That's great. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, guys. Well, very good. Well, let's jump into it. I'm going to read the column this week. The title of the column is called "Business Hammocks for All," and it is. I think it's something that we can all relate to, especially if it's something we can all relate to, except for Mike. If we've worked in an office, you can relate to it.
Wait, no, hold on a second. I have worked horrible office
Yeah,
jobs.
you did. Yeah, you have worked in an office. So
Yeah.
That's true. I'll just kind of get right into it. I had fun writing this one, which
Okay.
I wrote it today. So it's a little. We'll see how it goes.
That's the first time we're hearing it. So,
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right. And Dan, as you know, feel free to jump in at any point. You hear something interesting, jump in. Something just makes you think of whatever. Just that's the point. So
You got it.
all right. It's a good thing we're discussing this now during the show as opposed to beforehand.
Yeah.
We run a tight ship. Mike, you're a good producer.
Hey. I always go down with the ship, like any good sea captain
Earlier,
would.
Mike told me to just keep everything to myself. Just come on the show and just keep it to yourself.
Well, that is our strategy with Carlos.
Yes.
So
Yes, exactly. Carlos is actually locked in the pantry right now.
I like having an audience member. I think
I know. I should mention we have
Yeah.
Tom. My brother Tom is here.
we have our first audience
our
member actually in
guest.
the studio.
Yeah, exactly.
he has his own pair of headphones.
He does. He's
Somebody made very sure that he had those.
Tom's here to promote the fact that he just moved into a new apartment, which he's very excited about. So if anybody's interested in checking out Tom's apartment, we'll give the address at the end of the show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Along with Mike's email address.
Wrong with Mike's email address.
Tommy will be a guest on the show very
He
soon.
will be a future
He's a
guest.
guest tonight, but he will be
Yeah, he's an audience member.
an audience member tonight, but he will be a guest very
Yes,
soon. Yes.
Yes, exactly. So, okay, here we go. Business hammocks for all. I no longer work in an office. I work from home. This has many advantages. I work faster because there are fewer distractions. I physically move faster because I am not bogged down by the cumbersome weight of pants. Best of all, I take a nap every afternoon. No matter how well I eat, how often I exercise, or how much I sleep the night before, every day around the same time I get tired. So I take a nap. This nap typically includes 20 minutes of sound sleep, plus a dream in which Bernie Kosar comes out of retirement to lead the Cleveland Browns to a Super Bowl title. I am usually the Browns' long snapper, and I make a key tackle during a crucial second quarter punt. That's my fantasy. That's the best I can dream.
Big dream right
Yeah,
there.
it's a big dream. Then I wake up generally in a 3-point stance. According to an article in the New York Times entitled "That Yawn After Lunch is Perfectly Normal," it turns out that my affinity for napping means that I am at one with my body. The Times reports, and I quote, "It is entirely natural for humans to want to go to sleep about 7 hours after they have awakened, but as the internal rhythm of the body calls out for rest, the efficiency of the modern workplace demands continued exertion."
I'd like to point out here that Mexicans have it correct. Mexicans, in Mexico, they have siestas. And I think it'd be great if you could take a good old American nap in America these days, but it's not allowed anymore because, everything is so business centered.
In Hawaii, they take naps every day.
Right. Those lepers just nap all day.
But yeah, don't you guys, think, Mexicans, they have their, siesta,
They're just
like
genetically predisposed to sleeping
3
in the afternoon.
3 in the afternoon. Yeah. It'd be nice if, like, in the workplace, like the boss came in and be like, hey, everybody, it's time for a nap. I miss kindergarten because of that. Like, it was fun in kindergarten.
Mike, Mike wants to work in a place where somebody's going to tell him to go to sleep.
I would do it. I have no problems with that. That's the one thing. When I was a kid and in kindergarten, they're like, you need to take a nap, I mean, that was like a dictator coming to you saying, like, you have to take a nap because when you're a kid, you don't want to take a nap. But now, in life,
but when
you're working, you want to take a nap.
Can you take a forced nap?
Absolutely.
I don't know if you can force a nap.
If you told me to take a nap right now, I would sleep through this podcast.
well, that was going to happen anyway. we just ate 800 pounds of sushi, so that was going to happen. Anyway.
I'm just saying, go Mexico.
Thank you. I'm sure they're pumped to have your backing.
For sure, every Mexican that's listening to this podcast will.
They're just tuned in droves.
Right,
huge Mexican following.
Yeah,
we're simulcasted in Espanol.
If you guys knew this, we are the number 8 podcast in Tijuana. We got the numbers back from Arbitron. I spent $30,000 tracking our first 2 podcasts.
Takes money to make money.
Our first 3 podcasts, and we are being downloaded. It's by it's the local shop owners, which I would expect, and Marines visiting in the area from the nearby base in San Diego like to tune into the podcast down there. So
it gets expensive.
Yes. Are you reacting to something I said a minute ago?
Well, I'm just saying, it's an expensive business.
Like morally or something?
It's expensive.
Going to San Diego as a Marine?
Yeah.
Or going to Tijuana from San Diego is expensive? I don't understand what you're referring to as being expensive here.
Right.
Just it's an expensive business, tracking how many people are listening to you and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Oh.
I don't see you paying for it, John. You just sit there and laugh. You don't even pay.
Yeah, but
it's coming out of my pocket. I'm the executive producer on this damn show.
Yeah, okay. All right,
Anyway.
fair enough.
Mike
But
needs
in
a-
Sean's defense, he comments on things that were just said.
That's true. And Sean is very good looking. That's why this is all.
What I want to know is who slipped some crack into Mike's Cocoa Puffs this morning.
I know.
He's a little firecracker.
Mike's gone sideways today. All right, the New York Times story continues. A study of drivers found that more car accidents occur during the afternoon dip than at noon or 7 p.m. Few studies have been done on drowsiness in the workplace, but it seems likely that more errors in judgment are also occurring in offices, on factory floors, and in other environments at this time. Now, okay, that's the end of the New York Times story. Back to the column. I am issuing a call to corporate America right now. Workplaces should bow to human biology and provide employees with a place to nap. Do it for the workers. Do it for the economy. Do it for the mom and pop couch stores, which are languishing in their fight against Big Chair. Just do it already. Every company has at least one useless vice president, sometimes dozens. Fire one of them. Clear out their offices. Buy some dark curtains, move in 3 couches, and give the people what their bodies demand.
Doctors, they get to sleep on the job.
Do
They have a little sleep room.
Yeah, but that's when they work like an 18-hour shift.
I don't see it like that. I see it that they get to sleep on the job.
What? Yeah, it's like I'll pay one for you. I'll go to the patient now, and that for me.
Exactly.
One for
You're
one
talking
for
about
me.
the internists, that are like, up and coming. They have to work like those long, like the show ER. That's what it's all about.
Mike,
they work those
okay,
insane hours.
First of all, Sean is the expert because his friend is on a medical drama. So
Yep. Yes, that's true.
I think Sean is the expert. In this
And that's literally how I know that, is it was on the episode of Grey's Anatomy, the one episode of Grey's Anatomy I watched last week. I saw beds in the office, and I thought,
He only
maybe I could be a doctor.
Maybe I should go to school for 8 more years.
Why not?
Yeah.
Did you know that doctors, I had a friend who was going to med school. 2 years into med school, you become like an intern. You're something that you start seeing patients.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you're 2 years out of college, that you're not allowed to teach 2 years out of college. Like it takes 3 years to get like an advanced teaching degree. And
Sure.
these guys are like cutting people open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're cutting people open, but that's what I assume. I assume that's what you aspire to as a doctor.
Yeah, that reminds me of I studied journalism in college, and I worked for the student paper, and it was the largest paper in the city. And that one of our professors was asked about the paper in an interview, and he said, would you drive over a bridge designed by 18-year-olds who had no sleep the night before? Then maybe you shouldn't trust what you read in our newspaper. But the way he said it was very nice, but it was also very true. We were a bridge built by 18-year-olds who had no sleep, and so I imagine when you're getting a 24-year-old college student looking you over, I hope you're healthy already.
Well, it's like airline pilots. I always want them to be older. I don't trust younger people flying me around in big planes.
I like Maverick from Top Gun to be my pilot.
I see. Now I want the guy who freezes up at the beginning of the movie because I think he would have. That's the only time he's ever going to do that.
You don't want someone that's
That'll be
young
fine.
and cocky. You want someone that's kind of like older and a little bit more weathered. Just knows the
As long as
the
he
air
jaw
patterns a
snaps,
little bit more.
really.
I want somebody with a lot to live for. Is what I
Yeah,
want.
that's
Well, I do
true.
too. Yeah.
Somebody with like sound investments and a large family, and I don't know, like maybe he's got a really good game of chess going with a good friend from college. Just a lot of reasons to land.
I want a
Right.
guy who's like been nominated for an award and it's going to be presented in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like someone who really like everything they've lived for is going on in about 2 weeks. So like even at the point where a normal human being would be like, you know what, this is too hard. I'm just going to let it go.
Right.
That person would be like, God, that award would be so sweet. It looked good on my mantle. I'm going to land this plane no matter what.
I'm gonna win that Landy.
Yeah, exactly.
The Landy Awards.
For most
Most lands, as opposed to out of 400 flights, he landed 395 of them.
Yeah. It's an award Cal Ripken Jr. would win.
That's a good percentage.
That's a good percentage.
That's a did my job award that Cal Ripken Jr.
Yeah.
would love.
in baseball, that would make you a Hall of Famer with,
Yep.
with that percentage. Exactly. So okay, here are the benefits of napping at work. Number 1, increased efficiency. Number 2, happier workers. Number 3, balls. Yes, balls. I love it anytime I can write yes, comma balls. Picture this. You're thinking of doing business with a company or maybe working there. You are being given a tour of the office when you happen across the nap room. Yeah, the VP of operations says offhandedly, our people work hard. They're here a lot. We give them a place to recharge. Our output has increased since we fired the vice president of sleeping around at trade shows and turned his office into conference room ZZZ, as we like to call it. If you follow me this way, I'll show you the old international airport where we keep the huge piles of money we now make. You see, Balls isn't showing clients and competitors a busy workplace. Balls is saying our people take a nappy nap every afternoon and we're still kicking everybody's ass.
I'd be nervous.
Exactly. That's a ballsy company.
But I'd be nervous as the employee seeing that because what I would assume is that I have like some sort of doctor job where I'm there 18 hours a day. I don't want that job.
You would just assume, like, even if the job was in marketing or research, you'd be like, I'm going to have to work on people's bodies.
Yeah, well, I'd
Patients.
assume, like, why do they want me to sleep here? It's like, because they don't want me to go home. And then I start to think, like, this is a really important job if they don't want me to go home.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I think I wasn't good enough for
the
it.
guy would be like, these people can leave whenever they like. And then a guy walks by you like the living dead, like, must get coffee.
And he's got a beard like Rip Van Winkle.
Exactly.
It could cause stress though at the other end because if you get those people that can't sleep, like they're insomniacs or whatever, and they just have trouble getting to sleep, that could be a very stressful time. Like it is supposed to be nap time, Like I could just go to sleep if someone told me to do it, I would do it. But
We've covered that already.
I know, but I understand if someone couldn't do it, so that would be a very stressful thing,
But
like,
you wouldn't be dictated to like in kindergarten. I think what Joe's getting at is a place where you could go to sleep if you wanted to. But again, not being a kindergartner, you'd have the freedom of choice.
But you'd probably have to have like a specific time period of the day, like set aside for the napping.
Oh,
Otherwise
sure.
things
I
would
mean,
just get,
every
yeah.
office could make up. You could have a sign-up sheet. You could have, there's all kinds of different office protocol. You could reward people with that. There's all kinds of things you could do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, make it available.
I'm in agreement.
Okay.
I just wanted to point out that if you combine Mike and Sean's theories, all Mexicans are doctors.
I stand by it.
I agree with that.
Our ratings in Tijuana went through the roof.
Man. Who was the guy who used to do the show with us? What was that guy's name? He sat where Dan sits.
Come on now, he's gonna hear this podcast.
What was
and,
his name always with the comments?
Carlos Jaime. You're gonna.
That's not
he's
it.
gonna
That
listen to
wasn't
this
it.
podcast.
No. I think it was Dr. Carlos.
No,
Hyman.
no, no. If I'm not mistaken, it was not welcome anymore.
That's right.
Was that
That's
the full
right.
name?
That's right.
Yeah.
It was Wally Pip, I think was who it was.
It was last year's model.
Yeah, exactly. Did anybody get my Wally Pip reference?
No.
Dan?
I want to have gotten it.
I went to Great Expectations for some reason. I don't know.
No, I think the guy who Lou Gehrig replaced before he had the game.
Oh,
streak.
I think you're
Yeah,
right.
it was Wally Pip.
Yes.
So.
All right.
Oh.
Anyway, wait, Joe, great 1920s baseball remark to really bring the podcast up. Yeah, good. All right, very good. I got a lot of stuff on Three Finger Mordecai Brown.
You know who would have known that though? Carlos Jaime.
Wally Pip. Hi, man. Yes, you're correct. You're correct. Okay. Sadly, many Americans attach a stigma to sleeping during the workday. As a result, one's options for an office nap are severely limited. I have done the car nap, which is fun until a coworker walks by. Then it just feels sad. Have you guys ever done a car nap before?
I've tried it.
Yeah, it's hard.
One of my friends told me to get to work early and do the car sleep. I guess it's not really a nap.
That's such bad advice.
Don't sleep in your bed. Sleep in the car.
He says because then you can wait, because you can beat traffic by driving earlier, and then you get the rest you need in your car. He has a far nicer car
No,
than I do.
there's kind of I used to do something like this in high school. I had to commute to my high school. It was a long commute, so I had to get up pretty early. I'd have to be up at like 6. So I had this brilliant idea one day. I'm like, I'm gonna set my alarm for 4 a.m. And the alarm went off at 4 a.m. And then I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I have 2 more hours to sleep. So then I reset my alarm for 6, slept another 2 hours, and woke up at 6. So it didn't feel so much like I was actually having to get up early because I actually set the alarm earlier, and I'm like, oh, I got all this extra time to sleep. It felt like I was sleeping in.
So the time you slept in was your normal sleep time.
Essentially, but it's all in the mind.
Who did you feel good about fooling on that? Like, who were you like, yeah, take that?
Well, I woke up with a little bit more energy in the day, and I'm like, yeah, I got to sleep in a little bit.
Are you the kind of person that has breakfast for dinner and then is like, I'm ready for a full day out?
I have been known to have breakfast for dinner, but only because I like pancakes at night. I don't know. It's just something with me. It's a nocturnal thing.
He has breakfast at every meal, so he can always feel ready to go.
I'm having this like voice in my head right now of Carlos right now going, pancakes for dinner? Like, I feel like that's exactly what he'd say at this moment. So,
Uh-oh.
Pancakes for dinner?
oh, Carlos called in.
We have a guest.
This is really long distance. You're outside the U.S.
Who's the new guy? Who's the new guy?
That's
getting
Carlos.
awkward.
That's Danny.
You ever
Danny.
notice how I sound like Adam Carolla?
Not at this moment, no, actually.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, that's
wait.
it.
Whoa, I closed my eyes there for a second, and I thought Carlos came back from Hawaii.
A deft impersonation by myself once again. Thank you. All right. Okay. Where did we leave off? Oh, the car nap. That's right.
Yes.
Okay. I have done the cubicle nap. That's where you position your body so it looks like you are reading the computer screen, but you are really sleeping while sitting up. So I don't know if you guys have done that before. You kind of put your hands on your face, and you just like sleep while you look at the screen, and hopefully nobody walks into your cube. And then I have, in my darkest hours, even slipped into a bathroom stall for a quick toilet nap.
I've done
That's-
that.
Yes, Sean has done
I
the
have done
toilet
that.
nap.
Wait, that can't possibly be comfortable by any means. I mean,
It's actually quite comfortable.
Sean, describe your toilet nap experience.
My toilet nap was, it started unintentional, and then I think once or twice I made it a point. I feel like, because I don't work in a cube. I actually work in a room that has desks that are stuck together with like 5 or 6 other people. So it can be, there's also like a big TV and everyone's got computers and people are listening to music. So it gets very busy and noisy. So there's free drinks at my work. So I drink a lot and then I constantly have to go to the bathroom, and I find it so peaceful when I walk into the bathroom and no one's there. And once I went in to relieve myself and found that I put my arms on my knees and kind of started to fall asleep.
Sean just put his chin on the tops of his knuckles like a little pisher,
and fell asleep a little bit.
Did your knees fall asleep? I mean,
that's one of the downside. Yeah,
Then it becomes a lethal weapon, and someone's got to pull you off the toilet.
Yes.
See, I've never done this. Are the pants on or off?
Dan,
Off.
we're gonna get to that.
Oh,
No, very good question.
Oh, okay.
Very good question. Someone is anticipating the column. Someone has gotten so into the rhythm and the flow of this thing.
No, really, guys, you want me back?
Jack Nicholson. Carlos doing Jack Nicholson.
All right, here we go. The toilet nap is a terrible, terrible idea for many, many reasons. And I have a list here. Number 1, the acoustics. Okay. The overhead fan is noisy and doesn't circulate air, prompting you to think it's not a fan at all, but rather an incredibly loud bathroom fan emulator. On top of that, you can hear every possible shoe squeak, water drip, and toilet flush in not only your bathroom, but every bathroom on the floor and every bathroom in the building. Did you ever notice you can hear other bathrooms from a bathroom?
I can hear the doors closing, really. Like,
Yeah.
they sound like everyone's slamming doors. When
Yeah,
I
you
know
can hear
they're
that,
not.
and there's you can hear everything. Like
Yeah.
bathrooms, you can hear other bathrooms. Okay,
Could just be ghost flushes from previous occupants.
flushes that died unnatural deaths.
Yeah, that are still waiting to be settled.
Very nice. Or flushes that were taken on top of an Indian burial ground of some sort. There's a lot of possibilities.
Voices of all those dead fish.
Yes. Okay, reason number 2, the light. Is there any reason that workplace bathrooms are lit as brightly as auto dealer showrooms? Okay, I must ask this question. If there was ever a room in which it would be okay not to see exactly what was going on, wouldn't it be the men's room at work?
Wouldn't mood lighting in a bathroom kind of creep you out, though?
I don't know. It's so bright, though, you know?
yeah, because it would kind of create like a romantic atmosphere, and that's the last thing you
No,
want when you're taking a shit.
I
in
wouldn't
stall
mind
number 3.
it.
See,
I wouldn't mind
for
a
those of us that are
romantic
napping in the toilet, that's
Yeah,
it's not a
it kinda
bad
works.
thing. Yeah, but the whole point is it's just so bright.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't need to see all that.
At my office, there's actually the floors are pseudo mirrored a little bit, and we have a meeting every few months, and you do suggestion boxes, and one of the suggestions was, we're moving to a new building, and it was, could we please not make the floors in the men's bathroom mirrored? And I didn't realize it until I heard that suggestion, and now you naturally kind of look down
So now
when you're at a urinal, and
Yeah.
now I'm like, oh shit, I'm looking at the guy in the stall. I feel like, oh no, he sees that I was trying to look at him.
Would you guys care if a bathroom was like co-ed? Like Ally McBeal,
No,
when they
not
had the
really.
co-ed bathrooms.
Not so much.
Would it bother you?
No.
Like a number 1 bathroom and like a number
No, I mean full on. I mean, what is
full
it?
contact
it would
bathroom?
bother her a lot
Bathrooms
more.
pertain to both.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I do have a problem with the mirrors on the floor.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to see the bottom of my penis while I pee. It's
Yeah.
not something that needs to happen. I know it's there.
No, it's true, but I feel like men, we naturally look down at a urinal.
Yes.
And so
And
then
you're looking.
and so you're
You got
either
that
looking
right.
at somebody else's penis or your
Yep.
own penis, both of which you don't really want to do.
No.
Like you said, I know it's there. I know he's got one.
Right.
That's
That's enough.
That's all I
the
need to
information
know.
we
Yeah.
need. Exactly. You know who would love this conversation?
I think I know.
All right.
Guys, help! I need to find the American consulate in Hawaii.
You son of a bitch. I'll have to call Carlos and see if he brought his passport so he can get back into the country. Yes. Okay. This may be a whole other column. I bet if we cut the number of workplace bathroom lights in half, we could save a lot of money, energy, and eliminate male pee anxiety by 75%.
That would increase efficiency.
Exactly. People would not have to stand at the thing so long.
Yep.
Okay. Reason number 3, the conundrum, which Danny already alluded to. Do you make the sanitary choice and sit on the toilet with your pants on and risk getting caught napping on the job? Or do you fully commit to the toilet nap by going pants down, which gives you total deniability if someone gets wise? Or, here's a third option, do you bring an entire second set of pants to work and drop these around your ankles while you're on the bowl? I feel like there should be a special number where people can call Larry David with these kinds of questions.
I don't think the more sanitary option is to keep the pants on, because I feel like then now your pants have touched bare ass toilet
Sure.
seat, and now you sit back on your chair with that,
Sure.
and you're spreading germs.
Yeah, that's definitely, yeah, you're absolutely right. Either way is pretty unsanitary, actually. Yeah,
I take my nap follows a number 2, so I feel justified.
that's good.
Like the reason I asked though is because like I just like the idea of like during a nap, my piece is getting a full dangle during a nap, like
It's
unencumbered,
relaxing.
just really out there.
It's relaxing too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
I think I need to see a section or a poem or something in Green Jeans called "The Full Dangle." I think we have to make that happen.
That wasn't a Whitesnake album?
That was the cover of a White Snake.
Probably. It was part of the Whitesnake lawsuit. Yes. Okay, here we go. Number 4, the smell. Inevitably, you will be awoken by a blast from the stall directly next to you, where the vice president of eating Thai food for lunch every day is setting in for a good push. The fear of this alone will prevent any meaningful sleep for the rest of your life. Okay, I wasn't expecting this, but I'll roll with it. I am having trouble finishing this column because I am on deadline and I skipped my afternoon nap. This is true. I did not plan this. I have been rereading the previous paragraph for 10 minutes now, trying to think of what to write next. My brain is mush. Do you want proof? I just wrote 300 words about falling asleep on the toilet. So you know how I feel about this issue. Work naps are good. Make it happen, America. In lieu of a proper ending for this column, I will leave you with this, one of my favorite scenes from The Simpsons. In the episode You Only Move Twice, Homer asks his boss, Hank Scorpio, where he can get some business hammocks. Scorpio, who is a megalomaniacal super terrorist and also the world's greatest boss, responds, "Hammocks? My goodness, what an idea. Why didn't I think of that? Hammocks, Homer, there's 4 places. There's the Hammock Hut, that's on 3rd. There's Hammocks R Us, that's on 3rd too. You got Put Your Butt There, that's on 3rd. Swing Low, Sweet Chariot. Matter of fact, they're all in the same complex. It's the Hammock Complex on 3rd, to which Homer responds,
Oh, the Hammock District.
yes, the Hammock District. So thank you, Simpsons, for writing the end of my column this week. I had skipped my nap. It was 4 in the afternoon, and I needed to wrap it up, so that's how I ended it. So I had that anecdote from The Simpsons I wanted to share.
One of the best episodes ever, by the way.
It is. It's a controversial episode, too, because I read some posts on it, and some people hated it. But there were people who didn't ever see a James Bond movie. So
Oh, well.
yeah, exactly. Of course,
I know why we don't have naps in American culture.
What's that?
It's because we're taught that falling asleep is bad.
Yes, there is a shame. That's a really good point. How many people here have ever lied about taking a nap? Somebody calls you while you're napping. You pick up the phone. They go, "What are you doing?" And you asleep, and then you immediately say no.
Better yet, I've lied in front of my parents. You know, it's that kind of thing like when you're watching a movie with them late at night when you're young, and you start to fall asleep, and then your mom or your dad says, "Oh, time for bed. Someone's going to sleep." You know, my answer would be like, "No, I'm not asleep. I just like watching the TV in my mind."
And
They believe it because it's you.
Yeah.
we all know there's a TV in your mind too.
But you know what I mean? It's like I did not want to admit to them that I was falling asleep. I wanted to stay up and, stay up. And
Yep.
and falling asleep is like, nope, your day's over. You got to go to bed.
Right.
And we're taught from the very beginning that's bad.
I agree. I've done it whenever anybody calls me during the day. If I'm napping, I'm no, just check an email. Or
Sure.
if I'm ever just checking email, I was probably just asleep, just to let everybody know that.
I always, when people call me in the morning, I always do I'm so tired and I answer like, "Hello," and it's like, oh, did I wake you up? No, I've been up for hours.
Yeah, exactly.
I called you a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
I was asleep.
Your
You were
alarm
asleep.
your alarm clock's going off in the back.
Yeah.
They're
No.
whoop, 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 whoop.
I think somebody hit the car next door. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
I mean, it's going to get to the point in American society where, they're going to be like, "How'd you sleep last night?" And you're going to be like, "I didn't sleep at all." I didn't sleep well at all.
No, when it gets to that point, I'm moving to Hawaii.
Exactly. Gonna like bump chests. Then it's like, no sleeping. All
No
right.
sleep for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Sleep. What the fuck is that?
Exactly.
By the way, there was just a thought that I had earlier. Did these scientists, when they did this study about people wanting to fall asleep at like after lunch, did they take into account how many people get high at lunch?
That's a good. No, they did not factor that in. The New York Times is always loath to call the 420 set for their opinion.
There was a statistic, like I think 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know what it is now, but 2 or 3 years ago that they said that a whopping 77% of jury members, when they're actually like listening to, like a serious trial, they're either, some of them are high, some of them actually have been known to sleep during the trial and they don't catch them. And some of them have been known to, be on alcohol. And I think that's a very staggering statistic, because if you ever have to put your faith in the justice system, then that's a scary thing.
Well, those people are my peers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. What are your peers? Like these people that lack sleep are like actually listening and judging your trial. O.J. Simpson got off. What's his face got off on.
Your Honor, I'd like to point out to the court that juror number 8 is doing shots.
Excuse me, Mr. Foreman. Why are you talking through a megaphone?
I am high.
Excellent,
High off
excellent.
my ass.
That's quite all right.
Yeah.
Danny's on trial. It's perfectly fine. You're one of his peers.
Right on, man.
One of the biggest problems too with the whole jury thing is like you're dealing with people that don't want to be there. So like you're getting your people
who are
judging
raped?
you that are people that don't want to be there.
Yeah, but no, that's your peers, because the person the defendant doesn't want to be there either.
Exactly.
So I think that's perfectly fair. Nobody wants to be there.
Because somebody who's really excited is going to be like, yeah, send him to jail. It's fucking rad here.
Yeah, dude.
This is awesome.
You know what
Cops rule.
You know what I like is a plain room and being with 11 strangers all the time and holding fate in my hands. I tried to take that somewhere. I couldn't. I couldn't make jury sound cool. I couldn't do it.
There's no
because
way.
it's not. Most
Yeah.
people try to avoid jury duty.
It's I think the
that's
idea of jury duty has like this power associated with it, but the fact that you're with 10 other douchebags instantly takes that away. At first you're like, yeah, jury, that's awesome. Like I'm going to judge someone's like fate. And then you get there and you realize, wait, they picked these guys too?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm just some douchebag who couldn't get out of jury duty.
Yeah, exactly.
I haven't returned. I got jury duty summons and you're able to like delay it. And I didn't send them my thing back.
Wow.
To delay it. And it was supposed to be like right about now. They're supposed to call me back, and they never got my paper in.
You probably fell through the cracks.
At least there's
I
no
hope.
way anybody will ever know.
I'm off the grid.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, this podcast is the only thing linking me to civilization, guys.
If Judge Gonzalez down in Tijuana hears this, you yeah.
I just want to go on the record and say this is the best jury duty column I ever read.
Thank you. Well, let's Danny. That's a very good point. Let's do the aftermath right now. Let's have everybody's final thought. Let's wrap it up before Mike starts taking it to why we need to roll back our laws on double jeopardy and
Yeah.
and other legal precedents. and things like
Socialized
that.
brunch.
Yeah, exactly. Forced brunch. So the aftermath. We'll start with you, Mike. Any final thoughts on today's anything we talked about?
Yeah, I think that I like the Mexican culture a lot. I think that they have it right because let's be honest. Mexicans have a huge lunch usually. Like that's a big thing for them. They have enchiladas. They have
Tacos, gorditas.
They have tacos. They have chili rellenos.
Your knowledge of their culture is so deep.
I know.
Lots of cheese.
Sometimes they have taco supremes.
Yeah.
That's when it's been a rough
And
day.
the soft taco with the hard shell, and then the soft
The
taco around
chalupa.
it. Yeah.
The chalupa, yes.
Or the quadrulupa, I think, which is
The
new-
Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Reading off the 99-cent menu at Taco Bell.
You know what? When Mike's at the grocery store and he sees a Mexican person buying sour cream, he's like, "Look, it's a Mexican Supreme." I'm like, that's just racist and wrong. You don't say that.
Wasn't that? Didn't they have a Spanish language? Diana Ross toured with a couple.
I think so.
In Mexico. That was the Mexican Supremes, correct?
It's just Diana Ross with tomatoes, onions, and sour cream. Is all that is.
Mexican Supreme.
No, but the point is, it's like you have a big meal. What do you want to do? You want to take a nap, But by telling American culture that you can't take naps, all of a sudden people aren't having big lunches. All of a sudden the restaurants are falling, because people aren't having huge lunches anymore. And all of a sudden the economy is going to crash.
Which is why we need to socialize
Now,
brunch.
Socialized brunch, like that's Mike's proposal.
If you have naps, people will have bigger lunches. Restaurants will be booming. Waiters and waitresses will be spending more money into the economy, and everything will be booming. That's totally Mexico has the answer.
Okay, very good.
I mean,
The Mexican
that's
economy is a pillar.
Mexico. Aside from all the
Mexico is a perfect
aside from all the poverty, the corruption, the policia that are corrupt,
All right.
and everything else,
Mike-
at least they have the eating and sleeping
Mike
right.
says we should have the Mexican economy. That's his final aftermath thought. We'll go to Sean. Sean, what is your thought here?
I sometimes feel like if we're going to discount Hawaii as a member of the United States of America, I hate you. Perhaps we should move to some other states too that maybe haven't brought us anything. We got the leopard colony in Hawaii, but we also have the Cleveland Indians, the Cleveland Browns.
Here it comes.
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Where, sir, are you going to get your rubber for goods? Okay. Where will the tiny parts in your car be made?
Listen, when the best
And
when
you're
your
welcome
best
for George W.
export-
Bush, by the way.
when your greatest export is the host of The Price is Right, I think maybe it's time to reevaluate.
Oh, all right.
So get your passport ready when you're coming home, Joe.
Go back to Ohio, the country of Ohio. Oh man.
Can I do Carlos's aftermath?
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. Hammocks. Really, Joe? Hammocks. Mexicans. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't know.
I'm gonna call him right now, and I'm gonna dial 011 first when I do so.
Dial that
'Cause
country
it's an
code.
international call.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, very good. Very good final thoughts. Thoughts plural. Dan, any final?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I don't really have anything to add besides, I'll just concede my time to Carlos over there. This was fun.
Good. Well, we're glad we had you. It was fun this week. We are in a couple comedy groups. I'll mention those right now. Mike and I are in a group called Hero Style. We do music comedy, and we perform sometimes with Sean, and we have writing from Dan. So we're all here. Carlos is also part of that. Mike, Sean, and I are in a group called Pangea. It's an improv group. We play over Los Angeles. And you can catch us if you're in LA at one of our shows. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have a good time. Play with a lot of very cool people.
Yep. And that's it. Thank you, Tom, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's good to have somebody laughing in the background.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it fills it out. Then we don't have to add the laughter and editing afterwards. Saves us hours of time.
I say we still do it though.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll sound like more.
Yeah. Tom sounds like 40 people.
It's amazing.
Adding laughter?
I don't know about that.
It's too many Carloses in the show. It's too many Carloses.
That's gonna be his spin-off show.
Too many
Carloses.
Too many Carloses podcast.
What do you think, Carlos?
I don't
Think?
I'm not. What do you think? I'm a Hawaiian.
He's gonna love listening to this.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Do they translate it into Hawaiian?
He'll never leave the country.
He will never leave this country. This is why you never leave America. Okay, even if you want to enjoy the fruits of the Mexican economy, like some people in this room, you never leave America. And on that note, we'll leave it at that, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.
That's all for this episode of The Second Column. For more information, go to joedonatelli.com.